everybody, this is D Hunter bringing another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the DST or Diamond Select Toys Bruce Lee in his yellow outfit action figure. It's been a long time coming to get a good Bruce Lee figure. I got my figure from Amazon.com. It was actually on sale for $24.99. Looks like the retail is $29.99, a little bit higher than an average Select figure, and it looks like he also comes with less. So already I seem to be disappointed. There was a lot of reports of breakage of this figure on his thigh, so I really hope I don't have any problems, but I know if I do, Amazon will definitely ship me a replacement. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. You can see at the side, Bruce Lee, Deluxe Collector's action figure. He's in his yellow outfit, got two heads, one kind of standard, one screaming like he's about to fight somebody, bunch of alternate hands, looks like a couple different pairs of nunchucks. Looks like one in the back that's going to be spinning around. Here he is from one of those old classic Kung Fu films. Really nothing going on at the top here. The side, you can see Bruce Lee. Got a little logo there. He's kicking in midair. The bottom, not much going on there either. On the back, there is a barcode in case anyone needs that. And you can see he's got his nunchuck stretch out here. Here they are with a little air effect. And here they are spinning as fast as possible. Now, I will say, looking at this guy, a little concerned about his leg off the get-go. This right one here seems to be a little bit lower than the other one. I sure hope it's not broken in the package, but if it is, I know I'll get a replacement. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we got the figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. This is Bruce Lee in his yellow jumpsuit as he appeared in the film Game of Death. He comes with 6 additional hands, totaling 8 interchangeable hands. He has an alternate head. One is an angry, fighting, screaming look. Lord knows he did enough screaming in the film. He's got nunchucks, just like in the film, and a couple different looks to them. One regular nunchuck, one with some air behind it, like he's striking through the wind. And then one like he's spinning around so fast it looks like a complete circle of nunchucks. Pretty cool to have some options there. But before we look at the accessories, let's check out the actual figure. So here he is. Now I must say, head sculpt, a little mixed on. In general, it looks good, but doesn't quite look like Bruce Lee. I mean, it's a very nice sculpt, painted well, sculpted good. He has nice expression. Just don't quite buy it being Bruce Lee. It looks a little bit more generic Asian guy. So he's got the yellow jumpsuit, looking pretty nice. I like it. It actually almost looks better on this figure than it looked like him in the film. It looked a little rough at some parts. You can see the black line going through there. I see some muscle sculpted details on there. That would not have looked like that in the film. Overall, pretty cool. Face, very serious. Looks like he's getting ready to mess some stuff up. And I was definitely happy my figure did not come broken. After I read some Amazon reviews, everybody's complaining about his left leg falling off. This guy looked a little weird in the package. I was definitely concerned, but it looks like he had drop down hips, and that's why I looked that way. You have to be very gentle with him, and he'll be fine. If you really don't know what you're doing, I can see you breaking him very easily. This guy's articulation was awful out of the package. Couldn't utilize his elbows or bicep cut. That stuff was all stuck and messed up. Give this guy a nice boiling hot water bath, freed up a lot of the joints. He's definitely better for that, just to forewarn you. And then here's the figure broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Next, let's check out his accessories, starting off with his hands. So the first pair of hands I wanted to look at were his fisted hands. Even though Bruce Lee's weapon of choice seems to be his legs kicking, he can definitely throw some fists around as well. And then here will be his next pair of hands. These are his gripping hands. These are the only hands that should be able to accommodate his nunchucks. And then his third pair of hands here. These are a little bit more open or relaxed. And they could also be doing a kung fu chop on somebody. And then his final pair of hands. Not really sure what to call these. This is Bruce Lee making some sort of kung fu gesture like he did in the film. Next, let's check out his heads. He's got two of them. The one on the left, his sort of more normal, serious, but a little bit angry head. And then his right one, completely angry, his mouth open, he's screaming, he's about to fight somebody. Here's his first head. This is the one that he came with in the package, and this is definitely the one that I'll be using most of the time, but the other head is definitely nice as well. And then here's his other head. This is definitely when he's getting ready to mess somebody up, screaming, fighting, making those kung fu sounds. Take a flight stand. You can have this Bruce Lee in midair, get ready to kick somebody, using that screaming face. It works great. He just looks angry, and it works in a good action pose. And if you're close enough to see his face like this, you know you're going down. Now let's look at his nunchuck. He's got 3 different variations of this. First one here, pretty much just plain, ordinary. It's yellow, a little bit bendy in the middle, but it's not like a bendy wire. It's not going to stay that way. Second one here, exact same model, but it's got some air coming off it as if he's striking through the wind there. And the last one here, this is the most interesting. It's like he's spinning around so fast, it looks like a perfect circle. You can see the nunchuck on the inside there. He can hold it straight up and down if you get into the sweet spot in his hand, but it's very easy for this thing to just sort of fall through. His hands are a bit loose. If you have the opportunity to heat up his hand, tighten up the grip, that would really help use his accessory better. He can hold it like this as well. And then holding it over his shoulder like he did in the movie several times. Here he is swinging his nunchuck with the air effect. Swinging it so fast you can almost see it going through the air. Here he is spinning his nunchuck around so fast it looks like a perfect circle. You can only imagine how fast somebody would have to spin this nunchuck around for it to look like this. And it can also double up as an umbrella. I'm definitely just kidding, but that's what this thing reminds me of. The way he holds it, the way it's on top there. This nunchuck accessory reminds me of the part in the 1990 Ninja Turtles film where Michelangelo is doing tricks to the foot soldier. Here's a trick Bruce Lee can do that Michelangelo can't even do. Here's a whole bunch of foot soldiers from Ninja Turtles. All of them have their own nunchucks, get ready to get schooled by the master. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at his accessories, next let's check out the height of this figure. So this guy here, from bottom to top, is sitting at about 6.8, 6.9 inches, which will translate to about 17 centimeters. So now let's check out his articulation. A super articulated Bruce Lee figure is a thing of beauty in itself. A super articulated Bruce Lee figure where they kind of botch some of the articulation is a disappointment. He's a little from column A and a little from column B. Need to remind you, my figure was considerably stuck in the elbow, shoulder, and bicep area. I heated him up, boiling water, loosened everything up, and was able to free up most of the joints that way. So let's go ahead and check out his articulation now. Starting with his head here, it can rotate from side to side. It can look down about that far, up about that far, not too much there. His shoulders here, they have a ball joint and go out about that far. Disappointing they can't go up further than that, not even 90 degrees, and I couldn't even do that till I heated them up. You can see a ball joint inside of here, up, down, around, all that good stuff. Now it looks like he has a butterfly joint here, but no, we gotcha, no butterfly joint, just extra material for no reason. Butterfly joint would allow his arms to go in and out. That doesn't do anything. This here is just a cover up, I guess, what they thought was going to be extra freedom in the ball joint here. Well, you don't get that. And you got this unnecessary piece that just ruins the aesthetic of the figure. I have no idea why they didn't paint the stripe on top if this thing doesn't move at all. It's got a bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows below that. Going more than 90 degrees. Now I couldn't move these things for a damn until I heated them up. And now they're freed up pretty nicely, but I don't think they look all that good. I mean, his elbow just looks frankly weird. Wrist here can rotate around. It's hinged as well. He's got kind of a ball joint in his chest area here, can rotate around, and it can go in and out a little bit as well. Not too much. Traditional waist swivel below that. Now his hips here, they're kind of interesting. They can go out, not quite 90 degrees, but good enough for him. They have drop-down hips. That's why it looks so weird in the package. You can see they kind of drop down, able to go back up. He looks better like this standing, but it's going to allow him to do a bunch of kicks from side, forward. His legs have a very nice range of motion there. He can kick pretty far out, pretty high up. Can't really go back very far. He does have a thigh cut on his leg here. Double jointed knees. Then his feet here, of course, they go up and down. They can rotate like crazy and rock, and that's about it. So let me show you how his drop-down hips work, and they're pretty different. Upon first glance here, they're just typical ball joints inside the hips. That's not quite accurate. You can kind of see inside there, there's a ball inside here with a pin that goes across. Now they can drop down like so. Definitely looks really bizarre if he's standing this way, but it's going to give his legs more range of motion. So if you look inside of here, there's a bar that sort of goes across, and then it's sort of split in the middle, and one leg's on the top, one leg's on the back. It looks like this leg here is just so thin, the amount of material it's connected to. That's why I've been reading so many breakage reports. It actually looks like I may even have a stress mark already on there. Just wanted to kind of show, it's very interesting. You can have one drop down, not the other. Definitely something new from Diamond here. So my overall thoughts on his articulation. I think his head could do a little bit more, give more personality. His shoulders absolutely suck. Not only do they not have a lot of range of motion, but they're kind of deceiving what it looks like you get versus what you actually get. His elbows, they didn't work at all when I first got the guy. I had to really work with them to get them going, and I don't think they look very good. When he's cranking in his double joint all the way, it just looks bizarre. I like that his hips are completely sort of new. Diamond trying something new. Not sure if they executed it quite right, but hopefully with a few more releases they'll get it better. I thought his knees, legs, and feet are excellent. Next, let's check this guy out compared with some other action figures. Starting off with some other figures I thought would be good opponents for Bruce Lee. Here he is with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles, Dark Archer and Merlin figures from the Arrow line. These are also 7-inch scale figures. These guys are used for League of Shadow ninjas in my action figure world, and they were pretty good with scale up at Bruce Lee. And here he is getting ready to take on 16 of these League of Shadows members. Here he is next to a couple of NECA foot soldier figures from their 1990 Ninja Turtle film series. And here he is getting ready to take on 8 of these guys. Here he is with a couple of Art Asylum, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Gen Yu figures. Here he is in combat with 4 of them. As you can see, he's grabbing the sword with his bare hands, able to do that without taking any damage. Here he is with a couple of Hasbro Marvel Legends Ronin figures. Then here are 6 of these guys, thinking they have him surrounded. Boy, are they in for a surprise. And here he is, next to a couple of Mafex, Ra's al Ghul, Batman Begins, League of Shadows members. Here's Bruce Lee taking on all these Mafex ninjas. Boy, do I feel sorry for them. Next, let's check him out compared with some action figures from different various companies to see how it fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Here he is with some of his DST brothers. These are 5 different action figure lines from Diamond Select Toys. And here are several more action figure lines from DST or Diamond Select Toys. And here with some McFarlane Toys. And here with some NECA figures. And now, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is next to some Mattel wrestling figures. I'd say so far he scales up pretty good with the lines shown, but as we go forward they're going to get smaller and more out of scale with him. Here he is next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. And now with some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. Here he is next to some Mafex figures and some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And then with some SH Figure Arts action figures. So overall, I think this figure looks pretty good. His functionality is probably about half of what I would have liked for a super articulated Bruce Lee figure. I must say that his sculpt and paint job are pretty good and on point. I have very little to complain about there. His articulation looks like it was intended to be good, but definitely some failure with his arms and shoulders. The shoulders really have a little functionality, and the elbows were completely locked. I would have broke this guy if I didn't know what I was doing. His face could be a little bit more like Bruce Lee, so I'd say overall my complaints would be the way they execute the articulation. Some of it doesn't work very good, and some of it was stuck when I got the figure. I've read a lot of breakage reports from this guy. I really am concerned about his hips, how they're going to last over time. His face looks good, but could be a little bit more spot on for Bruce Lee. I do realize this is Diamond's sort of first attempt at a super articulated martial arts kung fu guy. I don't have the second release of Bruce Lee, and I might get it, but if it's like this figure, I probably won't. So if I were to rate this figure, I'd probably give him a 6.5 out of 10, but this guy could have easily been an 8.5 out of 10 if they just fixed a few things, made it a little better. The price point of this guy is also a turnoff. I believe his suggested retail price was $29.99. I realize the likeness rights of Bruce Lee probably was not cheap, but a typical Diamond Select action figure is $24.99, plus comes with a diorama base. This guy simply came with some nunchucks and that very large and kind of stupid circular nunchuck. I would have much preferred to have some kind of diorama piece for this guy. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add it in the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.